Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my video. So this video is going to be centered around the Mazda. Well, I have a Mazda 3, but this goes for a bunch of Mazdas in recent years. So this is a common issue with a lot of Mazdas. A lot of people, after they change out the batteries on their Mazdas, they get this rough idle issue, and they can't seem to figure out what it is. Now, if you guys are into cars, if you guys know anything about cars, you guys know, or if you guys are just want to fix an issue on your car that you don't know what's causing it, it's probably one of the most frustrating things that you could do as far as problem solving and for trying to figure out what the issue is on your car. So basically, I had an old battery in my car. My car was having issues cranking up. I mean, it wasn't the starter because it did crank up when it did crank up, it was trying to crank up, but it wasn't cranking up too well. And when I it wasn't charging up overnight. So overnight, what I would have issues with is the car starting up. I had to get a jump, all that stuff. It led to a battery issue. Figure out that it was a battery issue. So what I did was I went to Walmart. I got my the Walmart Great Value battery. Bought it for like 49 bucks, 50 bucks. Put it in the car. So I put it in the car, installed it, thought everything would be good. Turned the car on. All right, I turned the car on. The car started idling pretty rough, and it kind of worried me because all I did was change the battery, and my car was idling pretty rough. And obviously, it's kind of a worrisome issue, particularly when if your car actually matters to you as far as you needing the car for anything whatsoever. So car was idling rough. So I went through some trouble shooting steps. I mean, it was a weird situation. My car was running fine before I put the battery in. All of a sudden it was idling rough, and I was worried that it could be something else. I was worried maybe there would be a debris in the fuel filter. I was worried maybe I need to change I was troubleshooting. I was troubleshooting a ton of stuff on my car. All right, it was starting out without a problem. It was starting out without a problem. It was cranking up. It started, no issues whatsoever. So situation got to the point where I was looking at a couple of things, trying to figure out what it is. And like most of you guys who are looking for an answer to this issue, you guys probably want to Google, YouTube, or whatever, trying to figure it out, and stumbled upon a couple of answers, a couple of probable answers to it. But apparently the most obvious answer, the answer of why your car idles rough when you change out the battery, and this is particularly in cases where you just changed out the battery. Once you change out the battery, what happens is the car computer has reset. It has reset, and after it resets itself, what happens is it has to get used to figuring out the certain sensors, the certain way your car runs and stuff like that. And if you guys turn on, and now let me go to the exact procedures of how to get your car to idle normally. Also, I want to note that my car was also kind of stalling a little bit. And this issue, I just want to say that this issue is not just about changing up the battery. All right, it could occur if you just disconnected the cable to one of the terminals for maybe like 4 or 5 if you disconnected the cable for a short amount of time, this could occur on your car as well. So taking the mind is not just me taking out the battery. If you disconnect the cable in any way, it would cause this issue to come out. Your car would start idling. Idle would be rough, and it could stall on you from every now and then. So this is one of those cases where it's really hard to troubleshoot. If you take it to a mechanic and he doesn't know exactly how these Mazdas run, he could be trying to troubleshoot a bunch of issues. It could run you up to like a lot of money. It could run you over a lot of money. He'll be replacing parts, cleaning out parts, all that stuff. It's gonna run you, it could run you up there as far as money is concerned. Repair bills and stuff like that, and on an issue that could be repaired, that really you could do yourself within like 30 minutes. So here's the procedure for this. All right, if you guys find yourself in these situations where the battery was disconnected in one way or another, or you took the battery out and you changed up the battery, you got issues with idling, stalling, etc. So what you're gonna do, all right, first step in this procedure is pretty much to park your car, turn on, all right, and leave it on for about 30 minutes. Let it idle for about 30 minutes because the computer in the car needs to relearn. It needs to reset, do relearning as far as the idling is concerned. Stuff that I didn't think would be necessary as far as the car is concerned, but apparently that's what you need to do. First procedure is to turn on the car and just let it idle for 20 minutes. Don't drive it, just leave it there. All right, leave it there parked, turn it on, idle it for 30 minutes. All right, so after about 30 minutes, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go back in the car, you're gonna turn on the AC. Kind of weird, but you're gonna turn on the AC and let it run for about 30 minutes. All right, let it run for about 30 minutes or so. So basically what happens is after 30 minutes of having the AC on, your car idling, all right, what happens is your car is gonna run normally after that. Reason being is that for whatever reason, your car needs to relearn the idle. Relearn the idle. Weird thing, weird situation as far as that's concerned, but that's how the computer works as far as this car is concerned. Once you take the cable off, what happens is it resets the PCM, the onboard computer on your car. Once you put the cable back on, everything's reset. It needs to relearn, go through all the sensors and stuff like that, relearn the idle, the normal idle of your car, depending on whatever small little issues you might have, or whatever weird quirks your car particularly might have, or the mileage that it has and stuff like that. It just needs to relearn it, and your car should be running okay after that procedure. So basically what happens is in this situation is the car, once you reset the computer, once you take the cable off the battery and the computer is reset, basically the car thinks that everything is new. It registers everything as if every single component is brand new, and it takes a while for it to relearn the amount of mileage of all the different parts in your car, and for it to readjust the fuel coming into the engine and all that stuff, so that your car drives, readjust the fuel percentage and all that stuff, so that your car drives with what the mileage is currently on your car. So this is one of those things that are specific to a certain car. In this case, this particular Mazda, or other Mazdas, you guys experiencing this issue. A lot of mechanics don't, like I said, a lot of mechanics will not be familiar with it if they don't drive it themselves or have never encountered this particular issue before. So instead of spending that much money all the money you would be, paying for repairs that you don't need. Like I said, do this procedure. Let it park it, let it run, let it idle for about 30 minutes. All right. Do not drive it. Just let it idle for 30 minutes. And then what you're going to do is get back in the car. As it's idling, turn on the AC full blast. Let it run for about, 20 to 30 minutes. After that, take your car out for a drive. And at that point, your car should idle the way it did right before you changed up the battery or took the terminal off the battery, etc. Also want to note that if you guys change the fuse on the PCM, that could also, any kind of fuse issues where you have absolutely no power to the car and then you redo the fuse, you put in a new fuse, that could also be a part of this. Anytime there is a disconnect between your car and your battery, anytime there's a disconnect between the car, your car, and the battery, where there is absolutely no power going to, whether you're changing the battery up, whether the terminal's been taken off, the battery, whether there's a fuse that goes directly to the battery terminal, and that needs to be replaced, and then you replaced it and your car's running rough. This is the procedure for it. All right, it doesn't cost you anything to try it. The other way is to bring it to a mechanic and they might not know what the issue is. All right, you guys, if this helped you guys in any way, please give me a thumbs up. And also, I really, you guys, if you guys have any comments about this, please, put in a word in the comment section. And also, please subscribe, guys. All right, take care.